Hello, queer union siblings and allies across the country. Happy Pride. I'm Shalia Allen and the co-president of Pride at Work. Pride at Work represents queer union members and their allies. We build power for queer workers to further social and economic justice. This celebrating solidarity is a call to action. We remember the Stonewall riots of 1969 that were led by transgender women of color. The riots are widely considered one of the most important events that led to gay liberation. But our BIPOC, Black, Indigenous, people of color siblings are not yet free. Millions are taking to the streets. We are mourning the loss of George, Brianna, Tony, Ahmaud, and so many others. We're in the midst of an uprising for Black lives. Black trans women are being murdered at an alarming rate. We must listen and we must act. Black trans lives matter. Black trans lives matter. Black queer lives matter. Black Lives Matter is about police brutality, but it is also about workers' rights and the labor movement. The House of Labor must commit to an anti-racist union movement. This Pride is about celebrating solidarity and taking action. We are recognizing the leaders in our movement that are paving the way. Today, we will acknowledge the fierce leaders that are doing the work of equality in their community and within the House of Labor. I would like to introduce you to my comrade and co-president of Pride at Work, Gabe Gonzalez.
Thank you, Shalia. Hi, everyone. I'm Gabe Gonzalez, co-president of Pride at Work alongside Shalia. Welcome to Pride at Work's first virtual Celebrating Solidarity, and happy Pride Month. Here at Pride at Work, we want to take just a very brief pause in our activism to honor some activists that are working to make the world a better place for LGBTQ workers and workers broadly. I am so happy about our first honoree. She is the first Latina and first out president of the Colorado AFL CIO, President Josette Jaramillo. And she does this while being a full-time social worker, an essential employee during this COVID-19 pandemic. And I'm also proud to call her a friend. I had the privilege of working in Pueblo, Colorado, her hometown, during the 2018 midterm elections. While there, I also became friends with Josette's childhood best friend. And I figured she'd do a much better job at introducing Josette to all of you. I'll hand the stage over to Hillary Glasgow, President of the Southern Colorado AFL-CIO and Executive Director of Colorado WINS, the State Public Employees Union. Hillary?
Thank you, Gabe. That's very nice. I am really happy to be here and happy to be asked to introduce my sweet friend, Josette Jaramillo, for this award. And while she is my sweet friend, truth is, she really is my sister. For the last 10 plus years, we have, with our friends, fought back against every type of injustice. And sometimes we've won, and sometimes we've lost. And you can't share those highs and lows and grueling fights with a person and not become connected in a deeper way. But HOSA is who makes that possible. To share in the struggle without losing each other through the disagreements and the frustration and the disenchantment of the fight. She is honest, strong, brave, smart, beautiful, funny, loved by both dogs and children, the two best judges of character. She always shows up. Her dedication to what's right is unwavering, completely pure and without the shade of selfish motivation. And while our friends helped me compile this list of all the best things about HOSA, the absolute best part of HOSA is that she spends her own time and capital to lift up the people around her. If you need to know what's good about you, ask HOSA. She sees it, and frankly, she's probably already told you or told someone else about the greatest parts of you. I can't think of a person more deserving for this award. In fact, I think HOSA should win all the awards all the time, forever. But this one is particularly meaningful. HOSA's commitment to both the LGBTQ community, worker rights, and the intersection of the two has moved mountains. In her capacity as president of AFSCME Local 1335 and the Colorado AFL CIO, she has driven both policy change and culture change, the latter being oftentimes the harder of the two. She has brought a new dynamic to static structure and made space for people in the LGBT community to be a part of circles from which they were formerly excluded, in addition to women, people of color, and people from rural communities. She has given voice to all these different groups, and she is one of my heroes and one of my sisters, and I am pleased to introduce Josette Jaramillo for this award.
Thank you so much, Hillary, for that amazing introduction. Hillary and I have been friends for the last 10 years. I think you guys heard her call me Hosa, which is what most of my friends call me. So thank you so much, Hillary. We've gotten to know each other, became really good friends through doing this work. So I've met some amazing people like Gabe. So thank you, Gabe Gonzalez, for also the line of introductions. I met Gabe at the Pride at Work National Convention, and he came and worked with us here in Colorado in the 2018 cycle. So thank you guys so much. It's really an honor to be here and receive this award from you all today and from Pride at Work. I'm proud to pay my dues to Pride at Work. I'm proud to be a member. It seems really strange to get an award for doing something that you love and just kind of being who you are, but it also feels really important. Most of you guys know that I'm the president of the Colorado AFL CIO. I'm also a member of AFSCME. I'm also an essential worker. I'm a caseworker in child welfare. But when I was elected to be the president of the Colorado AFL CIO, I was the first woman of color to hold this position and the first LGBTQ person to hold this position as well. So it feels really amazing to be recognized just for having the courage to be who I am, right? And you get all of this. So in this moment, I think when we see, in my lifetime, I've seen marriage equality, in my gay lifetime, right? Because I didn't come out until I was much older. But also, you know, when we're seeing people of color rising all across the country, we're seeing the Supreme Court of the United States pass legislation that gives us Title VII protection. So whether you're a member of a union or not, you're not, you should join. You still can't be fired for being who you are. And that feels really important, and it feels really good to be recognized by Pride at Work. So thank you guys so much for the honor.
Thank you, Josette, for your dedication and your leadership. Now I want to introduce Jeremy Davis, our fearless executive director of Pride at Work, a lifelong activist and friend and leader in the movement. He is going to tell us about our next honoree.
Thanks, Shalia, and welcome everybody. For more than a year, it's been my distinct honor and privilege to work with one of the most dedicated and progressive groups of people I could hope for. The LGBTQ Advisory Committee for the Vice President of Human Affairs at the United Steelworkers is a testament to the commitment that steelworkers have to equality for all. In early 2019, the Vice President of Human Affairs, Fred Redmond, contacted Pride at Work and asked us to work with this new committee that would advise him and the union as a whole how the steelworkers could better serve its LGBTQ members. And after more than a year working closely with the committee and the dedicated staff of the steelworkers, I can't think of any organization more deserving of recognition for their hard work and dedication to ensuring LGBTQ working people get the dignity and respect they deserve at work and in our communities. The union has made powerful statements about issues important to LGBTQ working people, including the most recent decision by the Supreme Court that protects LGBTQ workers from being fired. Through the committee, they've offered trainings, including LGBTQ programming in their conferences and events, and even marched in Pittsburgh Pride, among others. I want to thank Vice President Redmond for inviting Pride at Work to be part of this process. I also want to acknowledge the past president of the Steelworkers, President Leo Gerard, for his willingness to commit the union to this work, and to current President Tom Conway for his leadership in continuing that work. I also want to give a shout out to the members of the committee for their tireless work on behalf of LGBTQ workers. And I want to give a special shout out to Chelsea Engel, who is a committee member and also represents the Steelworkers on Pride at Work's National Executive Board. But now, I am super excited to introduce to you a friend, a co-conspirator, and a dynamic leader in the Steelworkers who's also helping lead the union in this effort. Roxanne Brown is the Steelworkers' new international vice president and also heads up the Steelworkers Legislative Office here in Washington, D.C. Here to accept our Solidarity Award on behalf of the United Steelworkers is Vice President Roxanne Brown.
Thank you so much, Jeremy. And thank you so much again for being such a key part of the work that we're doing within the LGBTQ Advisory Committee in our union. We really couldn't do the work without you. And as you mentioned, this committee was formed by our International Vice President of Human Affairs, Fred Redmond, and he took a really bold step in doing it. And for our union as an industrial union, it's really important for us to make sure that our LGBTQ siblings know that we not only see them, but that we're gonna fight for them. And we're gonna fight for them not just, in the state houses across this country, but we're gonna fight for them in the halls of Congress, and we're gonna fight all the way to the Supreme Court if it's necessary. We want our LGBTQ siblings to know that our union would not be our union without them, and that they're playing such an important role in shaping the future that we're trying to build for steelworkers today and tomorrow. And I can't tell you how honored we are to receive this award, and how honored I am personally to accept this award on behalf of the steelworkers. The advisory committee has done some really great things to help our union take some historic steps so far. I can't wait to see what we do next. Thank you again, and solidarity.
Huge thanks to both of our honorees, and thank you for joining us during this first virtual Celebrating Solidarity. We typically hold this event in person at the National AFL CIO building in Washington, D.C., located on the newly minted Black Lives Matter Plaza. This event also happens to be the single annual fundraiser that keeps Pride at Work operating, thanks to sponsorships from international unions, state federations, central and area labor bodies, and local unions like yours. Thank you to all of these organizations that help us keep fighting. And anyone, even you, can also become a member of Pride at Work to support the movement. Simply go to prideatwork.org to become a member. And I'll close as Shalia opened. Black Lives Matter, Black Queer Lives Matter, Black Trans Lives Matter. Happy Pride, you all. One last thing, in case you haven't heard, Pride at Work has just endorsed Vice President Joe Biden to be the next president of the United States of America.
Are you still watching? Oh, good. So go to our website, prideatwork.org, and get yourself one of these cool union-made shirts, Proud Union Queer. I'll see you in the streets.